as we're getting started, about a week or so ago, we talked about hoarding mindset, hoarding information. You talk about the programs hoarders and so forth. What is this with, us just hoarding information, as it were?
Oh, just like a hoarder who has junk all over the house. It's the same thing. It really is because if you're not using it, it's not of any importance to you, is it?
That's true.
See that's it. I mean, are you thinking about what is important to you, or are you just thinking nonsense? See, I ask myself that question over and over and over. Hey, is this leading us where we want to go? Or, I mean, you really want to do this? Yeah, if you don't want to be involved in this, then let's not think about it. See, you're told very simply, as you think you are. Watch what you're thinking about. Wouldn't you say?
I would say you said something, and I want to touch on it briefly. You inquired, is this thought, this action, what it is that I'm doing, is it leading me where I want to go? And most of us, even in doing this work, a lot of times I'm work, 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 but the work that I'm doing is not necessarily leading me where I want to go. And so it's absolutely true. We have to be mindful of what it is that we're giving our time to.
Yeah, really. Not only your mind, your whole life. You're giving your whole life. You're judging the books right now for your future. As a matter of fact, you're creating that also today because you were told to choose this day, and it's always this day. So you're on all the time, on all the time. People come to me about, and the one thing that most of them think about most of the time, because that's what you are, it's money. It's all money, all of it. Everything depends upon the money. And yet, actually, abundance is an attitude, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, there you are. All you have to do is adopt the right attitude, and you stroll through. And adopting that attitude is also steadying yourself, being patient with yourself. Sit and listen to what you're thinking feelingly about because that's ahead of your evidence every day, your everyday evidence right there. You're always planning your future, whether you're aware of it or not. Being aware of it, well, it can be a lovely thing, but not being aware of what you're thinking feelingly about could be hell on earth. And people are suffering that. I hear that hell on earth right now for them. But you're also told you can bring heaven on earth. Yeah. Do you get that? God has told you to bring heaven on earth. In other words, it's in here and you have a messed up where you can't hardly get to it, the necessities of it. Because like he said, you get all that hoarding of, man, you know a lot of stuff, but is any of it really guiding you better in this world of experiencing? I mean, you just ask yourself. This is not about joining something. You just ask yourself. And if you'll be truthful about it, and I say that because I know literally I lied to myself all the time, you know. And when you see it, oh, being embarrassed, well, I'll tell you that's really embarrassing. But the point is, you see, there is change. That's what well, what would you be here if you didn't want to change something, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said something a moment ago about the mindset. You said abundance is that. You said adopt the mindset. For many listeners, they're like, well, how do I adopt an abundant mindset?
Think about it often.
Okay.
I mean, how else that we've been telling you all along that the whole idea is repetitiveness. Hear it again, hear it again, hear it again. Because like I said, it took me years to catch on to the simplest ideas. Years. Okay. And so what was it about? It was all about impatience. You know, I had no patience with myself. I'd wind up arguing it just to stop it. Actually, I wanted it to be really tough anyway, reading the Bible and trying to figure it out because it, I was not really from that cut. So, so I looked at all of it differently. And like my teacher told me when I graduated in grade school, she put her hands on my face like this and she said, "Son, learn a trade or you're going to starve." And she was serious faced. She says, "You're always dreaming." She says, I put you all the way in the back there, and you're looking out the windows. You can no bottom half, just the top half sound." She says, "What are you looking at?" I said, "The sky." She says, "Well, what do you see?" I said, "Well, I see a lot. I see a lot." So anyway, I think she told me, "Okay, like I said, learn a trade, or you're going to starve to death." So, I mean, I didn't take offensive at it, because I really liked the woman. I mean, I was in her class for 2 years, so well, you kind of get to know people after that. And I know her heart was in the right place. I know that. I mean, she was really a good teacher, and yeah. Of course, I forgot what you said altogether, but what?
Well, the thing is, you listened to her because you did learn a trade.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did, and actually, other things she told me, I've also experienced. You see, because I heard something from a person I respected, and because I heard it from a person I expected, then I expected it too, because that's what she was trying to convey to all the kids, but they didn't get it. I didn't get it either. I know I remember it. You see, so I could say, "Oh, yeah, well, I know that." I did it for years. Oh, I know that. I didn't know what I knew about it. See, that people, that's about 90% of the religions. I mean, really, come on. I mean, I didn't never, I could never really understand that. See, I have a closet right here. You see, right there. And that closet is holy ground. And why? Because it says, enter into the closet, close the door, leave all your baggage outside the door, and when you're alone, speak to your Father which is in heaven. Wow. What a statement. You're actually speaking to God. And then what you really find out is that He's always been with you. He's been going through everything you're going through. He said, "I suffer with you, but you owe me not." Well, I don't want to be guilty of having God suffer anything. But then again, I don't want to be suffering anything either. So, so you're really wise if you're listening to your own conversations because that's the only thing that'll hang you. Too bad it didn't start off right away.
Yeah. You said
Yeah,
you said something about abundance. You said I inquired with you for the listener. I said, well, how does one obtain abundance? You said think about it often. And I noticed something that you probably also would say is also think from abundance often. Is that correct?
that's it. As a matter of fact, what has your attention has your life.
Yeah.
So if you want abundance, I'd start paying attention to having it because he doesn't help whiners and criers. Understand? Because you see, he knows he already gave you choose this day. And aware or unaware, you're doing exactly that. You are choosing this day. You may not catch yourself because you don't listen to yourself. Are you talking to yourself from the moment you pop up in the morning until you fall asleep at night? You're talking to yourself about what? I mean, that's all you have to ask yourself about what. And then when you say the what, do you want to be delivered into that? No, no. Well, then drop it. You see, its life is your attention. See, what has your attention has your life. What are you giving your attention to? Because when you speaketh, you prayeth. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. So it goes back to what you were just saying. I don't want people to think that we're unsensitive to what you're going through. So when Mr. Lindell says that God doesn't listen to whiners and criers, you got to understand that's the prayer. Whatever it is that has your attention, if you're complaining, the complaint becomes the prayer. So we're just telling you, be mindful of what has your attention because as Mr. Lindell will often say, what has your attention has your life.
Yeah. And it does another thing. It feeds whatever you're paying attention to. So if you're always complaining, wow, that's going to cost you a lot to check out, Stan. Is there a time difference here, or does it take time for you to smile?
There's probably a delay, a delay response. No, I think my computer connection, I know that like I get, because of weather and things like that, sometimes it can delay the
Yeah.
effect. So if I smile 5 minutes later, I'm smiling in the inside.
Well, I tell these people over and over and over, what you worry about, you bring about. Uh, You get that one? I mean, explain it to them. I didn't think it would need any, but
Absolutely. It goes back to what was just stated a moment ago. The worry, the crying, the complaining, they're all prayers. And let me add this. We're vibrational beings. And so whatever we're vibrating, that's what we're going to transmit back to us.
that's right. And that vibration will go to the other end of this universe and come back with the answer that quick. Because you see, it's all in here. It isn't really out there. It's the reality is in here, not out there. And what you're doing, or rather it's real or unreal, well, you see, you were given choose this day. And look, God gave you choose this day. And Jesus told you this day is that's enough for you to get by. You get by today successfully, and all things produce after their own kind. I had a half a dozen of Neville's tapes, and I listened to them at least one every night for years before it actually touched base. I began thinking differently. The importance of having a CD, because what has your focus has your life. Think about it. We're not asking you to join anything, but you have to have the CDs. You have to have the DVDs. You have to listen to them. It's you training this. Listen, listen, listen.
But as Mr. Lindell stated, you have to listen to them repeatedly. And again, for those who are interested, click the link below and it will take you to the 4 CD set, and you'll be able to transform not only your mind, but your world.